Raise your glass, everyone! Daniel's voice boomed across the dining room. To hard work, friendship, and success. I forced a smile as I lifted my glass. To Daniel, I said, trying to match his energy. The man who always gets what he wants. Laughter filled the table. Sarah's laugh was the loudest, light, musical, almost too perfect. It used to make my chest warm. Tonight, it just made me uneasy. Daniel grinned at her, eyes holding hers a little too long. Don't flatter me, Ethan. You're the one who kept me sane through all those late nights. Yeah, I said quietly. That's me, the steady one. Sarah nudged my arm. Don't be so serious. It's a celebration. I looked at her hand resting on mine. For a moment, I wanted to believe everything was fine. The candles, the laughter, the people clinking glasses. It should have felt perfect. But something in the way Daniel's hand brushed against Sarah's under the table made my stomach twist. She didn't move her hand away fast enough. Ethan, Daniel said, leaning back. Remember that project I almost lost last year? You saved my ass, man. Yeah, I replied, forcing a smile. Seems like I save a lot of people. He laughed, oblivious or pretending to be. Sarah looked at me, eyes flickering with something. Guilt? Or maybe fear that I'd noticed. Come on, don't ruin the mood, she whispered. We're proud of him. I'm proud, I said softly, staring into my drink. Maybe just tired. After dinner, I slipped out onto the balcony. Cool air hit my face like truth after a lie. Inside, Daniel told some story about college. Sarah was laughing again. Her laugh felt like it belonged to someone else now. Hey, Daniel called from behind me, stepping outside. You good, brother? Yeah, I said. Just need a minute. He clapped my shoulder. You've always been the quiet one. Don't get lost in your head tonight, okay? I smiled faintly. Wouldn't dream of it. When he went back inside, I stayed alone with the sound of my pulse. I didn't know why my chest felt heavy, but I knew something had cracked. Back home, Sarah kicked off her heels. You barely spoke all night, she said. Just tired. You've been saying that a lot lately. I sat on the edge of the bed. You and Daniel looked close tonight, she froze. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Just an observation, her tone sharpened. Ethan, he's your best friend. Don't start being paranoid. I looked at her, really looked. You smiled like a stranger tonight, she sighed, rubbing her temples. God, not this again. Can't you just be happy for him? Happy, I repeated, the word bitter on my tongue. Yeah, I'm thrilled. My best friend's winning, my wife's glowing. Everyone's happy. Stop twisting things, she snapped. You're imagining problems. Maybe, I said quietly. Or maybe I'm just waking up. She rolled her eyes, grabbed her phone, and walked to the bathroom. The sound of the lock clicking echoed louder than any argument. I sat there staring at the floor until I heard her shower running. My head spun with thoughts I didn't want to believe. Then her phone buzzed. It shouldn't have mattered. I shouldn't have looked. But my hands moved before I could stop them. One swipe, one notification, one message. Daniel Brooks. You make me feel alive again. I froze. The words hit harder than any punch. My throat tightened as if someone had wrapped their hand around it. I opened the message thread. Weeks of texts. Late night confessions. I miss your laugh. He doesn't see you the way I do. You looked perfect tonight. My vision blurred. My heart didn't just break. It caved in. The shower stopped. I dropped the phone back where it was, stumbling to the window like I could escape the air in the room. When she came out, she looked fresh, calm. You're still up? Yeah, I said, voice trembling. Couldn't sleep, she smiled faintly. You think too much. Yeah, I whispered. I guess I do. I turned toward her, searching for something in her eyes. Honesty, fear, remorse. There was nothing but distance. Sarah, I said slowly. Do you love me? She frowned. Of course I do. Why are you asking that? Just curious. Ethan, you're acting weird. Maybe I'm finally acting real. She sighed. You're being dramatic. Go to bed, I nodded, forcing a small smile. Sure. Good night. She slipped into bed, scrolling through her phone like nothing had happened. I stared at the ceiling. Every memory we'd built, the laughter, the promises, replayed in my head. But now they felt like lies told with a smile. I wanted to scream. I wanted to wake her up and shout, "Why him? Why my best friend?" But I didn't. I just lay there, listening to her quiet breathing, pretending sleep would come. Inside, something died. Not love, not trust, but the version of me that believed people couldn't lie so beautifully. I whispered to the darkness, to Daniel. "The man who always gets what he wants." My voice broke on his name. The room stayed silent, but in that silence, I knew everything had changed. The toast I gave him hours ago wasn't celebration. It was a funeral. I just hadn't realized it was mine. I sat at the kitchen table, Sarah's phone in my hand. The words still burned behind my eyes. "You make me feel alive again." When she walked in, towel wrapped around her hair, I didn't look up. "Ethan, why are you awake?" "I couldn't sleep," I said. My voice sounded foreign. "Can you sit down?" She frowned. "It's almost midnight. What's wrong?" I placed her phone on the table between us. "You tell me." Her eyes widened for a split second before she masked it with confusion. "What are you talking about?" "Daniel," I whispered. "The messages. The ones that start with 'I miss your laugh.' Should I read them out loud or do you want to explain?" Her lips parted. "You looked through my phone?" "I did. That's invasion of privacy." "And sleeping with my best friend isn't?" The silence after that sentence felt like thunder. She covered her mouth, trembling. "Ethan, please." "It wasn't supposed to what?" "Happen?" Tears filled her eyes. "It just happened. I didn't plan it." I laughed, sharp and broken. "People don't just happen into each other's beds, Sarah." Her voice cracked. "It started when we were all going through that rough patch. You were distant, always tired. I felt invisible. So you made yourself visible to him?" "I didn't mean to hurt you." I slammed my palm on the table. "Then who did you mean to hurt?" She flinched, crying harder. "He understood me, Ethan. He listened. You stopped talking to me. I was working for us. Everything I did was for this house, this life." She cut me off. "You built walls around yourself." "No," I said, standing up. "I built walls to protect what we had." "You burned them down with him." Her phone rang. Daniel's name glowed on the screen like poison. I grabbed it and answered. "Daniel." There was a pause. "Ethan, hey man." "Listen, don't what?" I said, "don't talk to my wife? Don't betray me?" "It's not what you think." "Then tell me what it is." "You sent her messages. You touched her. You told her she made you alive. What part am I misunderstanding?" He sighed. "It was emotional, man. We crossed a line, but it's not." I threw the phone against the wall. It shattered, a small sound for something so big. Sarah gasped. "Ethan." I pointed at her. "You two deserve each other." She reached for me. "Please don't say that." "I love you." I stepped back. "No. You loved the man who trusted you." "You killed him tonight," she sobbed. "It's not that simple." "It is," I said. "You chose him. I didn't choose anyone. I made a mistake. Mistakes are forgetting anniversaries. Mistakes are burning dinner. What you did, that's a choice." She covered her face. "I'm sorry. I swear I didn't mean..." "Stop saying that," I cut in. "You meant every word." "You wanted to feel alive, right?" "Congratulations." "You killed something else in the process." I grabbed my jacket from the chair. "Where are you going?" "Out. It's raining," she said. "Please don't leave like this." "Like this?" I laughed bitterly.
"How else should I leave? With a thank you note?"
"Ethan, we can fix this. I can end it." "End it?" I turned to face her. "It ended the second you texted him that you missed him." Her tears came faster. "I'll do anything. Please don't go." "You already did everything." I opened the door. Cold rain hit my face instantly. She called after me, but I didn't turn back. I walked to the car, soaked in seconds, but the water felt cleaner than the air inside that house. When I sat behind the wheel, silence hit harder than her crying. I looked at my reflection in the window. My eyes didn't look like mine. How long had I been blind? How many laughs, glances, inside jokes had I ignored? I thought of Daniel's smile at dinner, Sarah's hand under the table. It had been happening right in front of me. I turned the key, but didn't start the engine. Instead, I leaned back, breathing in the smell of wet asphalt and betrayal. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Her name flashed on the screen. I let it ring, then it buzzed again, this time, Daniel. I stared at the name, feeling something inside me harden. "Go to hell," I whispered. tossing the phone into the glove box. Outside, thunder rolled. Inside, I finally broke. I gripped the steering wheel and screamed until my voice cracked. No one heard me. The rain drowned everything out. When the screaming stopped, I was empty. I reclined the seat and closed my eyes. The car rocked slightly in the wind, the rain tapping like fingers on glass. That night, I didn't lose just Sarah. I lost the man who believed in forever. A week after the confrontation, the house felt hollow. The closet was half empty, drawers lighter, air quieter. Sarah called it space to clear her mind. I called it running. When she packed the last box, she didn't look at me. I'll come back when things calm down, she said softly. Don't, I answered. Her eyes watered. Ethan, please! You made your choice, I cut in. Now live with it. She hesitated, then nodded. I didn't want to lose you. I forced a bitter smile. You already did. The door shut behind her, and the sound echoed through the house like a verdict. By the third day, the whispers started. People at work avoided my eyes. A few asked, "You okay, man?" I lied, said yes. Everyone knew. Everyone always knows. I stopped answering calls. Nights stretched like punishment. On Friday, I found myself at Jacob's bar, the only place still open after midnight. The light above the counter flickered. Jacob looked up. You again? Whiskey, I said. Keep it coming, he poured, no questions asked. The glass was cold in my hand, but my chest burned. 2 drinks later, a voice spoke behind me. Mind if I sit? I turned. Lily Brooks, Daniel's wife. Her eyes looked exhausted like mine. Didn't expect to see you here, I said. I could say the same. She slid onto the stool beside me. He's not home, if that's what you're wondering. I wasn't. She studied me. You look worse than he does. Thanks, I muttered. Did she move out? Yeah, a week ago, she nodded slowly. He told me he's confused. That's his excuse this time. I laughed, low and bitter. He's not confused. He's careful. He's done this before, hasn't he? She didn't answer. Her silence said enough. I stared at my glass. How long have you known? Too long, she said. Too afraid to face it. I told myself he'd change. Yeah, I said. We both believed lies, she sighed. He always said you were like his brother. I looked at her. Then he stabbed me like family, too. Jacob set down 2 refills without a word. Lily lifted hers slightly. To liars, she said. I clinked her glass. To fools who loved them, the drink hit hard. For a moment we sat in silence. The bar smelled of smoke and regret. Lily broke it first. How long were they? Months, maybe more, I said. I saw messages. That was enough, she nodded, her hand trembling slightly. He used to text her when I was in the next room. I saw the name once. He said it was work. Work, I repeated. That's what she said too. They must have rehearsed it. Lily smiled sadly. They're good at pretending. Yeah, I spent years thinking I was happy. Her eyes softened. So did I. We sat there, 2 broken halves of the same story. I keep asking myself what's wrong with me, she said quietly. Why I wasn't enough. I looked at her. Don't. That's their disease, not ours. She blinked fast, holding back tears. You sound sure. I'm not, I admitted. But I need to be, she smiled faintly. You always were stronger than him. Doesn't feel that way. It will, she said. Maybe not tonight. I stared at the wall of bottles. You ever think about leaving? Every day, she said. But part of me still wants him to wake up and be decent. Part of me still wants her to say sorry, I said. She might, Lily said. They always do when it's too late. The jukebox started playing some old song about love dying slow. I almost laughed. You know, she said softly, I thought I hated you. I turned to her. Why? Because he always compared himself to you. Said you had the perfect marriage. The perfect wife. My throat tightened. Guess he wanted proof it wasn't true. Lily's eyes met mine. He destroyed both of us for it. We sat in silence again. The storm outside tapped against the windows, soft but constant. I finally spoke. You know what's funny? Everyone keeps saying time heals. But time's not the cure, it's just the waiting room. She smiled faintly. Then I guess we're both waiting. For what? I asked. For the pain to mean something. I nodded slowly. Maybe this is how it starts. She tilted her glass. Then here's to starting over. I raised mine. To surviving, our glasses touched. The sound was small, almost gentle, but it cut through the noise in my chest. For the first time in weeks, I didn't feel alone. The next night, I went back to Jacob's bar. I didn't plan to. My body just drove itself there, like muscle memory built from misery. The place smelled the same. Whiskey, rain, and bad decisions. Lily was already there, sitting in the same spot. You following me now? I asked, sliding onto the stool beside her. She gave a tired half smile. If I say yes, will that scare you off? Not tonight, Jacob nodded at me. The usual? Yeah, I said. And one for her. She glanced at me. You shouldn't buy me drinks. People will talk. They already are, I said. Let them, she exhaled. Fair point. We sat there for a while, not talking, letting the silence stretch like a wound we didn't want to close. Finally, she spoke. I lied last time, she said. About what? Daniel, it's not just Sarah, there were others. Before her. After her. Always someone new when things got boring. I stared at her. You're sure? I found messages, she said quietly. Hotel receipts. He used our joint account like I'd never notice. Something inside me went still. Not fire, not fury, just ice. How long? Years, I leaned back, laughed once. Years, I repeated. And I thought I was the fool. She looked at me. You weren't. You just believed in people who didn't deserve it. Yeah, I said. That's still foolish. Lily swirled her drink. I used to delete the messages before confronting him. I thought protecting his image meant protecting myself. And now? Now I want the truth to burn. Her voice trembled, but her eyes didn't. I took a slow sip. Truth has a way of burning everything around it. Maybe that's what we need. I looked at her, really looked. She wasn't angry like I was. She was exhausted, hollowed out. But underneath it, there was resolve. What are you thinking? I asked. That maybe he shouldn't keep getting away with it, she said. That maybe you and I could stop him. Stop him how? She hesitated. You work in finance, right? Yeah. Then you know how to follow the money. I frowned. Lily, what are you asking me to do? I'm asking you to help me find proof. Not just of the affairs, of everything. His lies, his scams, the accounts he hides from the firm. I studied her face. You're serious? Completely. For a moment, the idea hung between us, sharp, dangerous, tempting. Why me? I asked. Because you're the only one he ever trusted completely, she said. You know where he hides things. You know how he thinks. I let out a breath. You realize what you're asking could destroy him, she nodded. Good. That word hit harder than I expected. I said quietly, this isn't revenge. No, she said. It's truth. I want to see what's real before I walk away for good. Her eyes met mine, steady, sad, defiant. I found myself saying, then we do it right. She blinked. You'll help? Yeah, I said. But not out of hate, she smiled faintly. Then why? Because he's been lying to both of us. And I'm tired of being someone's fool. Something shifted in her expression. Relief. Maybe gratitude. Or maybe she just saw the same darkness I felt in myself. We left the bar together, rain soft against the pavement. I followed her to her car. Where do we start? She asked. At his office, I said. He's careless when he thinks no one's watching. She hesitated. This feels wrong. It is wrong, I said. But so was everything he did, she nodded slowly. Then we're even. The next day, I met her at the firm's back parking lot. My pulse was calm, too calm. You ready? I asked. As I'll ever be. We slipped inside. The building was quiet. The cleaning staff had just left. I used my key card. Daniel trusted me enough to never revoke it. Lily whispered, he really trusted you. Yeah, I said. He shouldn't have. His office was neat, almost sterile, but the laptop on his desk glowed faintly. He'd forgotten to log out. I moved quickly, checking folders, emails, transaction records. Then I saw it. Offshore accounts, fake invoices, transfers labeled as consulting. Lily's breath caught. He's stealing from the company. Looks like it, I said. And he's been doing it for years, she stepped closer. Can we save copies? I nodded, plugging in a drive. We'll keep everything. Emails, screenshots, recordings. Her voice was shaking. I can't believe this is real. Believe it, I said. We're not guessing anymore. When the files finished copying, I ejected the drive and pocketed it. Lily looked at me. What happens now? I exhaled slowly. Now we wait. And when he thinks he's untouchable, we show him he's not. She gave a small, almost haunted smile. You sound calm. I am, I said. That's what scares me. Why? Because anger fades, I said softly. But control, that stays, she studied me. You've changed since that night. I had to, I said. Pain's only useful if it teaches you something. And what did it teach you? That people like Daniel don't destroy lives because they can, I said. They do it because no one ever makes them pay, she nodded. Then let's make him. For the first time since Sarah left, I felt something close to purpose. As we walked out, I realized I wasn't doing this for revenge anymore. Not exactly. But deep inside, under the calm, there was satisfaction. Quiet, cold, dangerous satisfaction, and I didn't want it to stop. When Lily suggested dinner with them, I almost laughed. You're serious? I asked. She nodded. If we act normal, he won't suspect anything. He always believes what he wants to believe. I stared at her. Normal stopped existing when my wife left me for your husband. I know, she said quietly. But pretending gives us time. It gives us power. That word, power, lingered. I hadn't felt it in months. The restaurant Daniel picked was one of those polished places where every glass sparkled like a lie. He waved as we entered, all charm and arrogance. Sarah sat beside him, looking radiant and nervous at once. Ethan! Daniel grinned, standing to hug me. Glad you came, man. Feels like old times. Yeah, I said, forcing a smile. Old times. Lily gave Sarah a polite nod before sitting down. The air was tight, almost brittle. So, Daniel said, clinking his glass. Let's celebrate new beginnings. I raised my own. Sure, new beginnings. Sarah smiled at me, a careful, fragile smile. You look different, Ethan, do I? Calmer, she said softly. It suits you. Guess I finally learned to stop chasing things that don't want to stay. Her eyes flickered down. That's not fair. It's true, though, I said. Isn't it? Daniel laughed loudly. Don't start, you two. We're here to move on. Lily's voice cut through his. Funny, Daniel. You're always the one who says that when you've done something worth hiding. He froze for half a second, then smiled. Still sharp, huh? Still honest, she replied. I glanced between them, pretending to sip my drink while sliding my phone face down near the centerpiece. The recording app was already running. So, Daniel, I said casually, heard the firm's been booming lately. What's your secret? He leaned back, proud. Connections. Creative accounting. You know how it is, creative accounting. I repeated, pretending to joke. He chuckled. Come on, Ethan, you think big money's made clean? Lily raised an eyebrow. That's a risky thing to admit out loud. He waved a hand. Please, half the board does the same thing. I just do it better. My fingers tightened around my glass. And no one ever notices? He grinned. Only if they're smart enough to look, which they aren't. I smiled thinly. Right, not smart enough. For a moment, no one spoke. Only the sound of forks touching plates. I could feel Sarah watching me. Ethan, she said finally, her voice low. Can we talk alone? I didn't look at her. We're talking now. Not like this. There's no other way anymore. She sighed. You've changed. I had to, I said. Pain's a good teacher. Her hand brushed the tablecloth, inching closer to mine. I didn't mean for... Don't, I said. Please, don't rewrite the story. You made your choice. Own it, Daniel smirked. Still sensitive, huh, buddy? I looked straight at him. Not anymore. Something in my tone made him flinch just a little. Lily caught it too, her gaze steady, unreadable. Anyway, Daniel continued, raising his glass again. Cheers to moving forward. I raised mine. To truth, I said quietly. He laughed, not hearing the edge in my voice. To truth. Sarah's smile faded. Her eyes flicked from me to Lily, sensing something wrong she couldn't name. After dinner, Daniel went to pay the bill. Sarah lingered near the door. Ethan, she whispered, please tell me you're okay. I'm fine, I said. Better than you think, she looked at me confused. You sound... Distant, I am, I said. Distance keeps me sane, her lip trembled. Do you hate me? I hesitated. No, hate means I still care enough to feel something. Her eyes filled with regret, the kind that comes too late to matter. Lily walked up, interrupting us. Ready? Yeah, I said. Sarah called after me. Ethan, wait. But I didn't. I walked out into the cool night, my pulse steady, my mind clear. In the car, Lily glanced at me. Did we get it? I held up my phone. Every word, she exhaled. You played that perfectly, I smiled faintly. No, I just stopped pretending to be the man they broke. She looked at me for a long moment. You scare me sometimes. Good, I said. Fear means they'll never see it coming. Outside, the city lights blurred through the windshield, distant, cold and perfect for hiding sins. I leaned back, listening to Daniel's voice replay through my phone. Every laugh, every arrogant confession, each one a nail in the coffin he built himself. Lily whispered, What now? Now, I said, we wait. And when the time's right, we make them choke on their own lies. For the first time in months, I smiled without guilt, calm, composed. Because the long game had finally begun, and I was the one holding all the pieces. I uploaded the files just after midnight. Anonymous email, encrypted attachments, sent to the board, the auditors, and the press. When I hit send, I expected to feel triumph. But all I felt was silence. The next morning, chaos began. Lily called me first. You saw the news? She asked. Yeah, I said. They're investigating. Her breath shook through the line. They froze the company accounts. He's losing it. I leaned back on my couch. Good. Ethan? He's calling everyone. He's accusing me of setting him up. Did you? She hesitated. I didn't have to. You did it for both of us. I rubbed my temples. Then stay quiet. Let him drown himself. There was a pause. Do you feel better? No, I said honestly, but it feels right. By afternoon, Daniel's name was everywhere. Executive under investigation. Fraud allegations rock company. Sources claim internal betrayal. The man who used to brag about control was now a headline for failure. At the bar that night, Lily slid into the booth across from me. She looked tired but calm. He's spiraling, she said. He broke a glass when the news aired. I stared at my drink. That sounds like him. He fired half his team this morning, she continued. Said he'd find out who betrayed him. He won't, I said. He's too busy saving himself, she studied me. You sound almost disappointed. I thought I'd feel something when he fell, I said. Joy maybe, satisfaction, but it's just empty. Emptiness is normal after revenge, she said softly. You lose the fight that kept you alive. I met her eyes. And you? I don't feel sorry for him, she said. But I miss believing I was married to someone decent. I nodded slowly. I know that feeling. 2 days later, Sarah called. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity got the better of me. Ethan, she said, voice trembling. You did this, didn't you? Define this. Don't play dumb. The investigation. The leaks. It has your fingerprints all over it. I laughed once. Funny. I thought Daniel was the one who liked fingerprints on things that weren't his. Please, she said. Don't make jokes. He's losing everything. He's not sleeping. He hit the wall last night. Did he hit you too? She went silent. I clenched my jaw. He did, didn't he? Her voice cracked. He's not the man I thought he was. No, I said. He's exactly who he's always been. You just didn't want to see it. She started crying. Ethan, I'm sorry. I thought I'd be happier. Don't, I cut in. Don't apologize to me now. You made your choice, I know, but I can't undo it. I don't need you to, I said. I already did, she whispered. You wanted him destroyed. I wanted truth, I said. He handled the destruction himself, she sniffed. I don't even know who you are anymore. Neither do I admitted. The line went dead. Later that night, Lily and I met again. She looked uneasy. He knows it's over, she said. They're preparing charges. The board's cutting him loose. About time, I said. He's calling Sarah nonstop. She's terrified. She should be, I said. She chose this, Lily frowned. Don't be cruel. She's already paying for it. Everyone pays for what they break, I said quietly. That's the rule. She leaned closer. And what about you? What are you paying for? I looked away. Peace, but it's not coming cheap. She reached out, fingers brushing mine. You did the right thing. Maybe, I said. But right things can still leave wrong scars. Her voice softened. You can stop now, Ethan. It's done. I smiled faintly. Is it? The following morning, headlines screamed louder. CEO resigns amid scandal. Authorities close in on Daniel Blake. At the office, whispers followed me like shadows. No one said my name, but everyone looked twice. I walked past Daniel's empty office, blinds drawn, nameplate gone. In the silence, I almost expected him to walk out, grinning like always, pretending nothing happened. Instead, I saw his chair overturned. Papers scattered. A coffee cup shattered on the floor. I didn't pick it up. That evening, Lily came by my apartment. No pretense this time, just quiet understanding. He's gone, she said. Left town this morning. Coward, I said. Maybe, or maybe he just ran out of lies. I poured her a drink. Here's to endings, she lifted her glass. And beginnings. We drank in silence. After a while, she said, You don't look happy. I'm not, I said. It's strange. I thought revenge would feel like justice. But it just feels cold, she nodded slowly. Because it never replaces what was lost. I looked at her. What was lost can't be replaced. Her eyes softened. Then maybe it's time to stop looking backward. I didn't answer. The room felt too quiet, too heavy. Outside, rain began to fall. Slow, steady, cleansing. I watched it run down the glass and thought about Daniel somewhere out there, watching his empire crumble. And Sarah, realizing too late that guilt doesn't rebuild broken things. Maybe that was enough. Maybe not. Either way, it was over. Daniel showed up at my door just after sunset, the smell of cheap whiskey and desperation clinging to him like sweat. Ethan, he started, voice cracking, I need your help. Please, man, you were like my brother. I leaned against the doorway, keeping my face unreadable. Brothers don't steal wives, Daniel, his shoulders slumped. I made a mistake, okay? I lost control. Sarah, she's gone. The board's investigating me. The house might be gone next week. I can't lose everything. I let silence hang between us, heavy and deliberate. You already did. He grabbed my arm, shaking. You did this, didn't you? You leaked it. You wanted to destroy me. I stared straight into his eyes. No, Daniel. You destroyed yourself. I just stopped helping you hide it. He blinked, his lips trembling. I loved her. I thought she loved me. But she doesn't even look at me anymore. She's afraid of me. That's what happens, I said quietly, when the mask slips. Daniel's voice dropped to a whisper. Ethan, I can fix this. You know how to make people believe. Help me spin it. I'll pay you. I stepped back. You think this is about money? My voice rose, sharper than I intended. You betrayed me, Daniel. You lied to everyone who trusted you, and now you want me to clean it up for you? He froze. The color drained from his face. For a second, I almost pitied him. Almost. Get out, I said finally, before you say something I can't forgive. He hesitated, then whispered, You already can't. And then he left, his footsteps echoing down the hall like a fading heartbeat. When the door closed, I stood there in silence, my hand still trembling from holding it open. I thought I'd feel satisfaction. I didn't. Only an ache that felt too much like grief. My phone buzzed. Sarah. I stared at her name until it blurred. Then, against my better judgment, I answered. Ethan? Her voice cracked, small and raw. Please don't hang up. I'm listening. I know you hate me. You have every right. But I didn't know who he really was. I thought he cared about me. You thought he was me, I said flatly. She went quiet. Then softly, I'm sorry. Sorry? I almost laughed.
You burned my life down, Sarah. You humiliated me in front of everyone I knew.
And now that the fire's touched you, you want forgiveness? Her sob broke through the receiver. I never stopped loving you. I closed my eyes. You stopped the day you lied to me. That's when love ended. Please, Ethan, just tell me what to do. Live with it, I said, and hung up. For a while, I just sat there in the dark, phone heavy in my hand, heart even heavier. The silence was too thick to breathe through. Then a knock came. soft, hesitant. When I opened the door again, it was Lily. She didn't say anything at first, just looked at me with that steady calm she always had. I heard Daniel came by, she said quietly. He did. And Sarah? She called, her gaze softened. And I told her the truth, finally. Lily nodded slowly, stepping inside. You did the right thing. Then why doesn't it feel like it? I muttered. Because revenge never fills the same space love once did, she said. Her words hit deeper than I wanted to admit. He begged me, Lily, said I was like a brother. You were, she said gently. And brothers can still hurt us worse than strangers. I looked at her, really looked. The exhaustion, the quiet strength, the relief. You're free now, I said. She smiled faintly. Thanks to you, I shook my head. No, you freed yourself. I just showed you where the cracks were. For a long moment, we stood there in silence. Then she reached out, her fingers brushing mine. That single touch carried more honesty than all the years I'd spent pretending to be fine. I don't know what comes next, I admitted. Maybe, she whispered, something real. I looked at our hands, hers steady, mine shaking, and for the first time in a long while, the anger inside me went quiet. Maybe this was what healing looked like. Not loud, not triumphant, just two broken people finding the courage to stop pretending. Outside, the night was still. Inside, I finally was too. It was raining when she came back. The sound hit my porch roof like static, steady and merciless. I almost didn't recognize her at first. Soaked, shivering, her hair clinging to her face like a ghost of who she used to be. Ethan, she whispered, voice trembling. Please, don't shut the door. I didn't. But I didn't invite her in either. What are you doing here, Sarah? She looked down, then back up at me with swollen eyes. I have nowhere else to go. Daniel's gone. The house. The company. Everything's gone. I know, I said quietly. Her lip trembled. You knew? I knew what was coming. He built his empire on lies, she took a shaky breath. And you helped it crumble. I didn't answer. She already knew the truth. Please, she said again, stepping closer. I made mistakes. Terrible ones. But I've been punished enough. You don't know what it's like. I know exactly what it's like, I interrupted. I lived it when you walked out. Rain pooled at her feet. She looked fragile. Not the woman who had left me for excitement and promises, but a shell of her own ambition. I thought I was choosing something real, she whispered. I thought he saw me. He did, I said. He saw someone to use, her breath hitched. And you didn't? I blinked. I loved you, Sarah, that's what made me blind. But no, I didn't use you. You just didn't know the difference. She looked at me then, really looked. Ethan, I can't undo it. But maybe we can start over. Please, I'm begging you. I almost laughed, but the sound wouldn't come. Start over? After all this? Yes, she said, stepping closer. I've changed. I know what I lost. I know what you meant. You mean what I used to mean. She flinched like I'd struck her. Don't say that. It's true, I said. You didn't love me, Sarah. You loved how I made you feel. There's a difference. Her tears mixed with the rain. I still love you. Then why didn't you fight for me when it mattered? She said nothing. Only the storm answered. I can't undo what I did, she murmured. But I can make it right. I'll stay help however you need. I shook my head. You don't get to fix me to fix your conscience. Ethan, please. She whispered, reaching for my hand. I stepped back. You wanted excitement, remember? You said I was too calm, too predictable. Her voice cracked. I didn't know calm meant safe. I didn't know predictable meant loyal. And now you do, I said softly. But knowing it doesn't change what happened. She stared at me, desperation hollowing her face. Then what do I do? Live with it, I said. The way I did. Her shoulders collapsed under the weight of that sentence. You really won't forgive me? I hesitated. I already did. But forgiveness isn't the same as taking someone back. I have nothing left, she whispered. You have the truth, I said. Start there. For a long moment, she just stood there staring at me through the rain. Then she turned away, slow and broken, disappearing into the gray. When the door closed behind her, the silence felt final. No rage, no satisfaction, just quiet. I stood there for a while, listening to the rain fade to a drizzle, until I heard soft footsteps behind me. "You didn't let her in," Lily said from the doorway. "She didn't ask to come in," I replied. Her voice was gentle. "You could have. I could have," I admitted. "But that would have been mercy for her, not peace for me." Lily nodded slowly. "Do you regret it?" "No," I said. "I think this was the only ending that made sense." She walked to the window, watching the rain blur the streetlights. "She looked lost." "She is," I said. "But she'll find her way. Regret's a cruel teacher, but it works." Lily turned to face me, her eyes steady. "And you? Did you find yours?" I looked down at my hands, steady now, no tremor, no anger. "Maybe. Or maybe I just stopped looking back." Her lips curved faintly. "That's a start. Feels like an ending," I said. She smiled. "Endings are just quiet beginnings." For the first time, I didn't argue. We stood there together, the air between us calm, almost peaceful. Outside, the rain eased, leaving the world washed and raw. "She'll be okay," Lily said softly. "I know," I murmured, "and so will I." I looked out at the empty street, the faint light breaking through the clouds, and felt something shift. A release, gentle and complete. The past had come home tonight, begging for shelter. But I had already built my peace elsewhere. For the first time, I didn't need to win. I just needed to let go, and I did. The sea always sounded like forgiveness, endless, patient, quiet. I never understood that until today. Lily sat beside me on the rocks, wind tugging at her hair, eyes fixed on the horizon where the water swallowed the sun. "You know," she said softly, "he proposed to me right here." "I know," I murmured.
You told me once, she smiled faintly.
Funny, isn't it? The place that started everything wrong now feels like where everything's right. I turned the small velvet box in my hand, its edges worn smooth. Maybe that's the point. The sea doesn't keep scars, Lily. It washes them away. She looked at me. Really looked. "You're nervous," I laughed quietly. "You always see through me." "Occupational hazard," she said with a soft grin. "You've been fidgeting with that box since we got here." I exhaled, my chest tight. I wasn't sure if it was right. She tilted her head. "What do you mean?" I opened the box. Inside lay the ring. Gold, simple, familiar. "It's the same one," I said. "The one he gave you." Her breath caught. "Ethan, why this ring?" "Because it's part of our story," I said. "Not his anymore. Ours. I found it when they auctioned his things." I thought maybe it could mean something different this time. Her voice trembled. "You don't want revenge?" I shook my head. "Not anymore. Revenge already took enough. I want something that gives back." She stared at the ring, silent for a long moment. "You could have bought a new one." "I didn't want new," I said. "I wanted real. Something that survived the fire." Her eyes glistened. "You think we survived?" "I know we did," I whispered. "Maybe not the way we planned, but we're still here." "Still standing?" The waves crashed gently against the rocks like applause from the earth itself. She looked down, her voice breaking. "When Daniel proposed, I thought I was being saved. But that ring? It always felt heavy, like a reminder of what I gave up." "And now?" I asked. She smiled through tears. "Now it feels lighter, like it finally belongs." I took her hand, the wind cool against my skin. "Lily, I'm not giving you this ring to erase the past. I'm giving it to prove we survived it." Her eyes met mine, shimmering with warmth and grief and something new. "You're sure?" "Yes," I said. "This isn't about revenge. It's about peace." Her lips trembled. "Peace feels strange." "Yeah," I said softly. "But it's good strange." For a moment, we just listened. The waves, the gulls, the soft hum of the world moving forward. Then slowly, I slid the ring onto her finger. She gasped, her hand trembling. "Ethan?" "It's a promise," I said. "Not to forget. Not to fix. But to start over, honestly, this time." Her fingers tightened around mine. "I never thought I'd feel loved again. Not after everything." "You were always worthy of it," I said. "You just needed someone who saw it." She laughed softly, tears still in her eyes. "And you? Do you finally believe you deserve happiness?" I looked out at the water, the sunlight melting into gold on the waves. "I think I'm starting to." She leaned her head on my shoulder. "You know, Daniel used to say the sea made him feel infinite." I smiled faintly. "He mistook infinity for ownership. And you? She asked. I see infinity in second chances, I said. In the way pain can turn into peace if you let it, she whispered. You're nothing like him. I was once, I said. Angry, consumed. But you changed that. Her voice softened. We changed each other. We sat there until the light began to fade, the world bathed in soft amber. The ring caught the last of the sun, glowing between our hands like a tiny flame refusing to die. Do you think people like us deserve happy endings? She asked. Not endings, I said. Just honest beginnings. She smiled, eyes closed. That sounds like something I could live with. The sea sighed, endless and calm. And for the first time, I didn't feel like I was standing in the ruins of my past, but at the edge of something pure, something earned. Her ring, once a symbol of betrayal, now rested on her hand, shining softly against the twilight. Not revenge, not redemption, just rebirth. And as the tide whispered around us, I finally felt whole. I never thought peace could be so quiet. No fireworks, no grand finale, just the sound of my own footsteps echoing against the pavement of a life I finally understood. Lily's laughter drifted faintly from the porch behind me. She was talking to the neighbor's kid, her voice soft, unguarded, the sound of someone who had learned how to breathe again. I smiled. That used to be me once, before everything burned. The papers came out last month. Daniel's company declared bankruptcy. Fraud, embezzlement, the whole thing. Headlines called him a fallen visionary. I called it karma catching up. Sarah tried to call me 3 times after that. I never answered. Do you ever think about them? Lily asked me one evening as we sat in the garden, light from the lanterns flickering across her face. Sometimes, I said. Not with anger anymore. Just curiosity. What kind of curiosity? The kind that wonders how it all went so wrong, I said. How people who once had everything decided to throw it away. She nodded slowly. Daniel, he used to think success made him untouchable. I guess when you stop fearing loss, you stop valuing what you have. I took a deep breath, and Sarah thought excitement was love. Maybe we were all chasing illusions. Lily gave a small smile. Not anymore. I looked at her hand, the ring catching a soft glint from the lantern light. No, I said. Not anymore. She studied me quietly. You look lighter. Because I am, I said. For the first time in years, she reached out, touching my wrist. You let it go. I had to, I replied. Revenge gave me purpose, but peace gave me meaning. Her eyes softened. You sound like a man who's found himself. I think I did, I said. But not because they fell. I won because I stopped needing to see them lose. Lily smiled faintly. You know, that's exactly what he never understood. Who? Daniel, she said. He thought winning meant standing on someone else's ruin. But look at you now. You rebuilt from ashes without stepping on anyone. I laughed softly. Except maybe my old self. Good, she said. He needed to go. We sat in silence for a while, listening to the night hum, crickets, the distant rush of waves, the sound of a world still moving. She whispered, Do you ever miss it? The old life? I thought about the parties, the business meetings, the smiles that weren't real. No, I said. I miss who I thought I was. But not what I had, she looked away. I miss believing in forever. Forever isn't lost, I said quietly. It just changes shape, she smiled sadly. You always know how to make pain sound poetic. I've had enough practice, she laughed, a soft healing sound. You should write a book. Maybe someday, I said. Call it The Idiot Who Toasted His Betrayal. She giggled, shaking her head. You're impossible. Realistic, I corrected. I've learned that life doesn't hand out justice. It hands out lessons, her voice lowered. And what's the lesson you learned? I thought for a moment. That forgiveness isn't about them. It's about setting yourself free. Lily's gaze lingered on me. And are you free now? I smiled. Completely. Later that night, after she went inside, I stood outside my old home, the one I'd kept but never returned to. The garden was overgrown, windows cracked, memories still alive inside those walls. I whispered to the emptiness, This is where I died. The wind moved softly through the trees. Like it agreed. I remembered Sarah's laughter echoing through the halls, Daniel's voice calling me brother, the way I'd once believed loyalty could save everyone. It couldn't, but maybe it saved me in the end, by breaking me first. I walked through the yard, gravel crunching beneath my shoes, and paused at the front door. It creaked open, the smell of dust and rain mixing with something bittersweet. Closure. I looked around, whispering to the ghosts that lingered there, "Thank you for leaving." And I meant it, because without losing everything, the marriage, the friendship, the illusion, I'd never have found what was real. Outside, the sky had begun to lighten, streaks of gold cutting through the last of the dark. Dawn, gentle, patient, like forgiveness. Lily appeared in the doorway behind me, a blanket over her shoulders. "You okay?" she asked. I turned to her and smiled. "Better than okay," she tilted her head. "You're saying goodbye, aren't you?" "I am," I said. To the man I was. To everything I thought mattered. She walked up beside me, slipping her hand into mine. "Then don't look back," I nodded. "Not this time." We stood there together, watching the first light spill across the street. I whispered, "Sometimes losing everything saves you." She smiled softly. "Then you're finally saved." I looked at her, the morning light glinting off the ring on her finger. The same one that had once symbolized lies. Now reborn in truth, maybe, I said. I was never meant to win their way. Maybe I was meant to start over mine. Lily leaned her head against my shoulder. "You already have." And as the sun rose higher, painting the world gold, I finally felt it. Not revenge, not relief, but peace. The kind that doesn't shout, doesn't burn. The kind that simply stays.